Hello dear students, good morning. So today we are going to start chapter 2, that is Lost Spring by Annis Jung. So this chapter is based on child labor. So here the story goes on like this. Sometimes I find RP in the garbage. So why do you do this? I asked Sahib. Who is I? I is Annis Jung here, and she is talking to Sahib. I asked Sahib whom I encounter. Encounter here you see the meaning. That is to meet by chance. Every morning, scrounging. Scrounging means searching for. So for gold in the garbage dumps of my neighborhood. Sahib left his home long ago, said amidst the green fields of Dhaka, his no home is not even a distant memory. There were many storms that swept away their fields and homes. His mother tells him that is why they left, looking for gold in the big city where he now lives. So the explanation of this para is like, goes like that. Every morning, the writer sees a young rag picker, name is not given yet, and boy who visits the garbage dump near her house and searches for gold in it. Now, what is the meaning of gold here? Later on, you will be knowing it. The writer says that he searches for gold, ironically, because although the garbage dump is full of useless, thrown away things, still he shuffles it so minutely as if he will get something as precious as gold from it. In something, he is very hopeful that I will be getting something very precious thing, or you can say some kind of very valuable thing from it. And here he also says the boy's name is Sahib. Here I tell you the boy's name is Sahib. His home in Dhaka was in the middle of lush green fields. So here he says amidst the green fields of Dhaka, lush green fields, very greenery, and his home is not even in distant memory. Now his home is very far. It is not available in his memory even. There were many storms that swept away their fields and homes. So here he also explains that his home is not in even his memory, and uh, the storms swept away, means their home, their fields, everything was damaged by the storms. His mother tells him like this, and he's also telling this thing to Anis Jung, who is talking to him, means Sahib right now. That is why they left. So they left means who left? Sahib and his family left, looking for gold in the big city where he now lives. So he is now living somewhere else, and you will be knowing it where he is right now. He is living. He also says to Enes Jam, I have nothing else to do, he mutters. Mutters means he does not speak very clearly, looking away. He's looking at some other side and he's saying, go to school, I say glibly. Glibly means like, in a very simple way, or ironically, this Anis Jung says to Sahib, realizing immediately how hollow the advice must sound. So, hollow means here? Hollow means like, that does not have much value. So, the advice must sound. So, because she herself knew it that I'm saying to Sahib that you must go to school, but she herself knows that this advice is very hollow. So, there is no school in my neighborhood. When they build one, I will go. So here Sahib says there is no school in my nearby area. So if somebody, builds a school, I'll go. If I start a school, will you come? I ask, half joking. So here, Anis Jung asks that if suppose I make a school, then will you start? Will you start coming school? And so here also the meaning of difficult word mutters, to speak in a very low voice, deeply speaking or spoken in a confident way, but without careful thought of or honesty means ironically, or you can say that she was not much aware what she was speaking, and hollow, meaningless, useless, which does not have any kind of value. So let us continue to the next para. Yes, he says, smiling broadly, and a few days later I see him running up to me and is your school ready? It takes longer to build a school, I say, embarrassed at having made a promise that was not meant, but promises like mine around in every corner of his bleak world. Bleak means full of darkness word. So here he says that, yes, he says, smiling broadly, thus, Sahib, he smiles very broadly. A few days later, again, he meets Anis Jung, and he came running up to her and asks, "Is your school ready?" So he arises a question. It takes longer to build a school. So Anis Jung says, "It takes time to build a school." I say, embarrassed means sad, and here embarrassed meaning feeling ashamed or feeling sadness kind of thing, and made a promise that was not meant, but promises like mine around in every corner of his brief. But his, who is his here? Sahib. So in the same manner, these kinds of promises in his dark world, you can say, they are made and broken. After months of knowing him, I asked him his name, Sahib Alam. His complete name is Sahib Alam. And he announces, he says to Anis Jung, he does not know what it means. If he knew its meaning, Lord of the New Universe. So actually, the what is the complete meaning of this name, Sahib Alam? This means Lord of the Universe, Sahib. To whom we call Sahib, like Lord of the universe. He would have a hard time believing it, unaware of what his name represents. So he is not aware that what is the meaning of his name and what his name represents. He roams the streets with his friends and an army of barefoot boys. Barefoot means like without slippers, without sandals, etc. So who appear like the morning birds. So all his friends and along with him, they appear in the morning birds, like the morning birds come together early in the morning and then disappear at noon. In the same manner, his friends and he himself, they come and they go, and over the months I have come to recognize each of them. So Anis Jung, it is the like feeling of or you can say not a feeling, actually she knows that I have come to recognize each of them means everybody of the group. Like this is the group, this is suppose this picture is of Sahib, and these are his friends. So she says that she knows each and every friend of him. Here, Anis Jung asks, "Why aren't you wearing chappals?" So see, this is a actually Hindi word, and it is being used by Anis Jung. Why aren't you wearing chappals? I ask one. So I means Anis Jung. He asks, sorry, she asks one of the friends of the Sahib. My mother did not bring them down from the shelf. He answers simply. So here, Sahib answers that my mother did not bring them down from the shelf because they are kept on the shelf, and she does not bring the slippers down. Even if she did, he will throw them off, adds another who is wearing shoes that do not match. Now, one of the friends of Sahib responded to Anis Jung, and he said, even if she means who is she? Sahib's mother. She did means she brought the in the last paragraph we read it out that the sleepers are kept on the shelf. So if she did, he will throw them off. He will not wear it, and adds another who is wearing shoes. This other boy is wearing shoes that do not match. Means do not match means in one fit like this. You can see the picture. Means in one foot it is a other shoe, and in the next one is a other kind of sandal or slipper. So here he says, when I comment on it, he shuffles his feet. He shuffles means like here you see the meaning slides them over each other. So tries to hide. like because they are not matching. And I want shoes, said a third boy. So here there was one more boy, third boy, and who has never owned a pair all his life. He had not owned even a single pair in his complete life. Traveling across the country, I have seen children walking barefoot in cities, on villages, on roads. It is not lack of money, but a tradition to stay barefoot. So here, Anis Jung explains that she has seen many of the children who, live without slippers, and it is not a lack of money, but it has become a system that they want to live barefooted, and they want to spend their life in the same manner. It is one explanation. I wonder if this only an excuse to explain away a perpetual state of poverty. So here again, Ernest Jung explains that perpetual means continuous and never-ending condition of being poor. So here it means that they want to live in this poverty forever, and they do not want to improve their condition. So in that manner, Ernest Jung explains that she wants to ask, means sorry, she is asking again and again to these kinds of boys, but she knew them very well, and she explains the condition of these kinds of boys. And his Jan also explains, I remember a story of a man from Udipi once told me, as a young boy, when he was a young boy, he would go to school past an old temple. So his school was near by the area of a temple where his father was a priest. His father was a priest, means he was a kind of Brahmin, and he would do the religious kinds of jobs. He would stop briefly at the temple, and this young boy, for short time, briefly means short time, he would stop at the temple and pray for a pair of shoes, because he had not owned a pair of shoes even in his life. So he prayed to the God that may God, or you can say that God must provide him in a praying manner. He would request to the God that uh, he must get the pair of shoes. 30 years later, I visited his town and the temple, and his young again. After 30 years, she visited that boy's town and the temple, which was now drowned in an air of dissolution. And so, dissolution means a state of being like empty. So, she visited that area again, and she saw there was an open area, or you can say that nothing, or you can say means not more development was there, and she noticed each and everything there, and she explains a young boy dressed in a gray uh, sorry, in the backyard where lived the new priest. So she noticed that a new priest after 30 years, because she visited there, and she noticed where lived the new priest came there, and were red, and there were red and white plastic chairs in the temple, and a young boy dressed in a gray uniform, this time after 30 years. So why she is saying so? Because after 30 years, lots of things have been changed. Wearing socks and shoes, and arrived panting means because the boy was running, and after running, he was breathless, and threw his school bag on a folding bed. And when he came back from the school, the boy, he threw his bag on the bed. Looking at the boy, she noticed that I remembered the prayer another boy had made to the goddess, because that particular boy, he had not owned a pair of shoes, and when he had finally got a pair of shoes, let me never lose them. So this was the feeling of that boy, that because in once upon a time he got a pair of shoes, and he thought that he should not lose them. The goddess had granted his prayer. Young boys like the son of the priest now wore shoes. So this is like this thing I would explain that this is totally vice versa, because now earlier the situation, what was the situation? Because the children, or the you can say the people, they used to remain, or they used to live their life, whole life barefooted, and now these young boys like the son of the priest now wore shoes. So this is the situation has been changed. But many others, like the rag pickers, who are rag pickers, Sahib, this is a rag picker means who picks waste material from the dumps and any other thing, poly bags and big plastic bags, so that they can earn something. And in my neighborhood, remain shoeless. So she wants to explain that still the rag pickers in her area, in her neighborhood, are there who want to live or who want to remain shoeless. So thank you for this day, and I hope you would have understood it. And if you would not have understood it, please comment to me. And still, if there is any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section, and please go ahead and try to grasp the things which have been explained. Thank you.